elaborate on that. What do you mean by that you had asked for a certain compliance, but you got exact opposite of that?
I think when you see how Twitter voices are being shut down, even Elon Musk has said he gets amazing number of requests by the government of India to suspend accounts, to pull down tweets. What am I talking about is exactly what we are witnessing. And evidence is there in every newspaper to read every single time an account is suspended. When the owner, now the CEO of Twitter, the owner of Twitter rather, is going on record and saying that. So what more evidences do we need? Okay. Haven't we seen the raids at Twitter office? Haven't we seen how Facebook was in compliance with what the government of India wanted, running the BJP agenda? Hasn't that been discussed multiple number of times, how they went and bought Facebook ads to particularly run a narrative? So if your biases are obvious, if your platforms are skewed in favor of the governing dispensation, if your algorithm is skewed in their favor, then I think it's a huge battle for the opposition to be fighting. And
but Priyanka, I also have a different view because I'm sure you've been very active on Twitter, that there was criticism, I remember, during Jack Dorsey's time as CEO, that it was a certain leaning to another narrative that people of perhaps a different opinion felt their views were being shadow banned, they were not being encouraged to tweet, they could not be found. So it's not that there was no criticism when Jack Dorsey was CEO.
No. So let me take you back to a period before 2014, before Mr. Modi came into power. And let me remind you, whether it was the Nirbhaya protest or whether it was any other protests that were taking place against the UP at that point in time, did you see a clampdown on social media? In fact, the social media was used to push a false narrative. Twitter India was known for that. There were no action being taken. Freedom of speech was the garb that used. Safe harbor was the garb that was used. Compliance is not being followed because there were no compliance laws at that point in time. Who did it benefit in 2014 for the government to come to power? So let's not absolve how narratives have been set on social media platforms, how misleading information has been weaponized, and why we need compliance laws which are balanced, which are neutral, and which protect and safeguard India's democracy and its constitutional principles. And what the government is doing right now is a clampdown of those very principles that India has stood for over the years.
My final question, he resigned and he stepped down from his position in 2022 May. He makes this comment now about a year later. To the allegation that could the timing be suspect, what do you say to that, Priyanka? That is it a year too late?
Listen, any time anyone choosing to speak at any point in time is always debated in India, because the Prime Minister is visiting America. Elon Musk said this a month ago. He has just taken over. He's just taken over Twitter. He has said exactly the same thing that Jack Dorsey has said, and Jack Dorsey was being asked to give examples of how difficult it was to work under various geographical laws. He goes on to speak about Turkey. He goes on to speak about other nations.
Yes.
Why does India look at every single attack on the government as an attack on the nation? Please understand, the government and India are two separate things. India is way above the government of the day.
Appreciate Priyanka Chaturvedi for speaking to India today and stating that this time there is nothing suspect. He has every reason to be saying what it is, and there has been a clampdown by the government. We'll continue to keep tracking this big story. Thank you so much, Priyanka Chaturvedi. Remember, Congress has spoken, Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray has spoken, and expect through the day, it's just the morning, through the day there is going to be a united opposition attack.